Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, brothers and sisters, it is truly an honor to be here with all of you tonight. And I'm very humbled by the opportunity to share a few words. I was telling Brother Naeem before I got here that this is such a beautiful gathering of Muslims. And to hear Sheikh Wassam's words, you know, it made me that much prouder, not only to be a Muslim, but to be a Muslim American, a proud Muslim, one of two Muslims in the United States Congress. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has certainly blessed us and blessed me to represent Indianapolis, Indiana proudly, but to represent Muslims in Congress. And given the times that we are living in, when not only the American family is under attack, but the Muslim family is under attack. Now, I stand here not just as a politician who has worked hard to bring over $400 million back to my state, not as one who Allah has blessed to debate and work hard on financial regulatory reform, not one who has cast votes to protect children, to protect families, to protect the poor, one who has worked with President Obama in signing legislation that has fought to protect those who suffer from mental illness, those who have served in the armed forces, but also as a Muslim who has worked with the President, who has worked with the Secretary of State and members of Congress to send more aid to our brothers and sisters in the Palestinian area, who has worked hard, who has spoken out against Islamophobia and against those who would seek to do our religion harm. As Muslims, we know that family is the cornerstone of our society. It gives us strength, gives us protection, and it gives us support. But we must recognize today that the Muslim American family faces severe challenges. Now, we know that families across this country and across this world are under great financial strains. When gas and food costs have increased, families feel the pressure. When health care costs increase, our families feel the pressure. When college costs increase, families feel the pressure. Now, things have historically been taken for granted in America. Those things that we used to take for granted are being shaken to their very foundations. One, because society is becoming more globalized. Secondly, because the American people are frustrated. And in this frustration, there have been those who have sought to point the finger. And in pointing the finger, they would rather point to you and me as being the source of their frustration. All of these pressures manifest themselves in various ways. And tragically, when the economy struggles, we see heightened domestic violence in Muslim families as a result. We see abuse increase as a result of the multiple stressors. But despite all of this, there are those scholars who tell us that over 50% of marriages in the first few years will eventually end in divorce. Now, while we may be strong at the ICNA conviction, it's very true that all of us are under tremendous strain right now. Outside of our personal strains that the Sheikh mentioned, we are going through a transformation in our community. Now, 9/11 was tough on Muslims. And those of us who were in the workplace faced exacerbated prejudice, unrelented bias, and in many cases, some of us were terminated from our jobs. It was tough to be a Muslim in the workplace. But the question that we must ask ourselves is, how do we meet these challenges? Are we ready to accept the challenges that lie before us? America will never win the war against terrorism without help from the Muslim community. America will never tap into educational innovation and ingenuity without looking at the model that we have in our madrasas, in our schools, where innovation is encouraged, where the foundation is the Quran. And that model that we are pushing in some of our schools meets the multiple needs of students. Most of us are visual learners. Some of us are auditory learners. We learn by hearing. And many of us are kinesthetic learners. We learn by doing, touching, and feeling. I have found, as my wife is a principal and I have a 5-year-old daughter, Salima, that we need an educational model that is current, that meets the need of our students. America must understand that she needs Muslims. There are over 7 million Muslims in this country. And while we are under attack, we cannot retreat. We have been a part of America since the inception of America, beginning with the West African slaves who were brought here. Now, it's unfortunate that there are those who are thinking that at this convention right now, we're having secret meetings, that we're plotting to destroy this country. But I say to those who are here undercover, Allah will not allow you to stop us. When they think of our contributions, I have to give them help. Brothers and sisters, you can go to any major hospital in this country and find a Muslim physician. You can go to a major courtroom and find a Muslim attorney. You can go to the halls of Congress and only find 2 Muslim congressmen, but they're there. And we want more. And we have to have more. Now, everyone has asked a question, do they think that our philanthropy and our activism is self-serving? Do they think that we're doing these things all because of ego and vanity? Do they think that we care about justice only for Muslims? When the New York Police Department was finally exposed for working in conjunction with the CIA to spy on Muslims in our masjids, and we protested, and I, along with my brother Keith Ellison, spoke out against this injustice. That sent a message We can't stop there. Why can't we stop? Because if we stop, we solidify the mythology about Muslims. Sure, we get upset about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's important. Sure, we get upset about the multiple drone attacks in Pakistan. But you cannot deny that Muslims across the globe have been inspired by Muslim Americans. Look at the Arab Spring. The people said enough is enough. When Peter King, the chairman of the Department of Homeland Security's committee in the U.S. Congress, conducted his hearings on Muslims in America and domestic terrorism, I spoke out and Keith Ellison spoke out, but many of you spoke out. But we can't stop there. Our families are under attack. How can we strengthen the Muslim family? We have to be proud of who we are. Don't go in the mall and see another Muslim and not give the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. That is unacceptable. Don't allow yourself to become distracted by whether or not a brother stepped into the masjid with his right foot or left foot. That is what the enemy wants us to think. He wants to divide us on ideological differences. He wants to divide us on philosophical differences. He wants to divide us on whether or not we do our dhikr, or whether or not our beard is long enough, or if we don't have a beard. History has taught us that those who tend to have the strongest religious exterior oftentimes, unfortunately, have a record of doing the most harm to Muslims. Look at Osama bin Laden. Brothers and sisters, as a proud father and as a proud husband, I'm telling you that we cannot allow society's fluctuations to impact who we are as a community. The Sheikh spoke about it very eloquently, but our very lifestyle, the way we live, the way that is prescribed for us in the Quran is a form of dawah if we live it each and every day. It is a way, even if the intention isn't conversion, it is a way to inspire our neighbors to live better. It is a way to inspire our community to live better. This is the kind of tie that you and I must build. We strengthen our families by being who we are. We strengthen our families by accepting all that is great about our religion. And that is by encouraging our genius, by developing the next city councilor, by getting involved in the process. How many of you would like to sit on the jury of a case that dealt with a police officer who was found to be spying on Muslims? How many of you would love to sit on that jury? Well, you know what? In America, you can't sit on any jury unless you're registered to vote. We have to be registered to vote. You and I have to engage in the political process. That's how we help strengthen the family. Almost every action that we partake in our daily lives, to and fro work, has to deal with some form of legislation. Whether stopping at a stoplight, paying for gasoline, with taxes, or whatever, there's a nexus to legislation. We must begin to groom the next mayor of Hartford, Connecticut. We have to groom the next city councilor, the next governor, the future president, the first Muslim president. Now, brothers, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but that may be a sister. Don't astaghfirullah me, I say alhamdulillah. Can you imagine a sister in the White House with Secret Service with hijab on? I don't know if you're ready for that, ICNA. That's visionary right there. But it begins here. It starts here. It starts with us becoming motivated. It starts with us being proud to be Muslim. Be proud of who you are in the workplace. If you have to leave your workspace to make salat, alhamdulillah. Put on your screensaver and go make salat. Now that doesn't mean that you disrupt the workplace and make it in front of everybody in the hallway. That's showing off. But it means being proud of who you are. And when you're proud, you inspire those around you to accept you for who you are. And what you want to become, brothers and sisters, is the best that Allah has intended for us. We can't condemn our Italian friends. We can't condemn our Jewish friends. We can't condemn our Latino friends. We can't condemn our Catholic friends for what they do and for the success that God has blessed them with. We have a role in our own success. We have enough resources here at ICNA to combat Islamophobia during an election year, in the age of the super PAC, in the age of unmitigated private financing in elections. Brothers and sisters, in the next few months, you're going to see commercials, multiple commercials, that are going to try to tie brothers like myself and President Obama to Islamic terrorism. They've already tried it with me. But you and I can create our own Muslim super PAC to combat Islamophobia. I was told earlier today that there are over 100,000 Muslims in the tri-state area. Imagine if each of those Muslims were to give $20, that's $2 million. That's $2 million to defeat a Peter King in his next election. That's $2 million to help Congressman Andre Carson and Keith Ellison stay in Congress. That's $2 million to put Sister Aziza on the city council, or Brother Muhammad in the mayor's office. That's $2 million to start a super PAC to push out positive images of Islam. I am thankful and honored that you would have me here at ICNA, because it's been years, it's been over 10 years I've been trying to get here, and my family, my uncle Umar al-Khattab has been trying to get me here, but I'm finally here, Brother Naeem. And I'm so happy to be amongst Muslims. My battery is recharged when I see my brothers and sisters. I feel reinvigorated. I feel vibrant. But I also feel like it's time for us to create the next generation of leaders. When I look into this crowd, I see the next Bill Gates. I see the next Steve Jobs. I believe that the person in this audience, that young person, will create a different kind of cell phone. It won't even ring, it'll be a hologram of your friend. It'll be a movie projector. It may even make coffee. But that ingenuity is here in this room. And as long as we stick together as a community, as an ummah, and as a family, we can lead the way for America and the world into the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd century. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.